Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Back in June this year I was really fortunate to be able to go to the 20th anniversary of Download Festival. For those of you who don't know what Download is, it's a heavy metal festival with bands such as Slipknot, Metallica, Bring Me the Horizon, Rammstein in the past, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, a wide array of music. Also bands like Pendulum, Tenacious D, Bob Vylan, Monuments. I could go on for days on the amount of music and different bands that are there. Now this was my third time going. The last time I'd been was 10 years ago, so things are obviously different. My style had changed, so I needed some new clothes, which I did, but I also needed some new makeup. When I was there, I did some crazy looks, so I did purples, I did reds, I did blues, but this was the look that was my favourite and this was the one I had most confidence about. This was my green look. Now I modelled this off a Pendulum album and I'll insert the cover just here. It's obviously not quite the same, but it had that same vibe, it had that same feeling, and this is the makeup that I did wear for that gig. An amazing gig. Anyone who hasn't seen Pendulum, honestly, so good. The slight difference between how I like to do my makeup, I guess, and how you see a lot of other people do their makeup, and no shade, no hate, is I use very everyday makeup. I use makeup that I can buy on Amazon, I can buy it in the supermarket, I can buy it in Boots. It's really affordable and it's really easy for me to get hold of. I'm not gonna show things that are out of someone's price range, in my opinion. And they're just things that if I did go on holiday or I went to a festival and I lost them, I'd be annoyed that I'd lost something, but I wouldn't be devastated that I'd just lost a £50 foundation. So the first thing I'm going to start with today is my Revolution Pro Blur Stick. It's actually, ironically, all the information is blurry because it's wiped off, but this is a watermelon priming stick and it's absolutely huge. It's so big. So I'm just going to start by popping that in down my neck a little bit at any spots where I feel like I need it. Okay, great. So whilst I leave that to just sink in, I'm going to move on to my eyes. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a primer on my eyes for my eyeshadow. Now I'm not really 100% sure what primer does. I imagine from what I know it just kind of gives you a smooth surface to work on. The reason I like primer is because I find that then taking my eyeshadow off after is so much easier. I don't know if anyone else finds that, let me know, but I do. So what I'm going to do, this one I've had for a little while and it's going to have to work, there we go, is I'm just going to pop that on, like so. Gosh, classic. One's got more on it than the other. And then I'm just going to grab my tiniest little blender that I have, this cute little thing, and just rub that in to my eyes. There we go. Okay, so now I'm all primed. And I will just do a little bit under my eyes as well, because that's where I will also put in some of my eyeshadow. Okay, so far so good. So the next bit, the main bit, is the eyeshadow. Now this bit is the bit that I find takes me the longest, and I actually use this. It's the Affiano, I want to say, Avocado Green palette, and I got this on Amazon. I will link it below. I think this cost me about £14. It wasn't very expensive, and we've got all of these amazing colours in there. Okay, so the colours I'm going to be using is this yellow, this green here, and then the sparkle on top as well. Unfortunately these don't have any names to them, so we'll call them yellow, light green, dark green and sparkly green. The thing I like about this eyeshadow is that it is so vibrant. The only thing is that you do need to put quite a bit on your brush for it to show. So it looks like it's going to show loads, but actually when you get onto it, as you can see, it is going to need a couple more shades. Now if I had a more expensive palette, then yes, it probably would go on much quicker, but as I said, this is an everyday makeup palette. Okay, I'm just going to do the other side. Now the reason I haven't done my foundation at all yet is because I'm probably going to drop yellow and green down my face, and I don't want to put foundation on and then have to do it again. So that is starting to get really yellow. We're really starting to see the pigment there. Gosh, my eyes could probably glow in the dark right now. So just a little show for you. Now I'm not too worried that if this one's got more on it or this one has got more, because in a minute we're going to obviously put our greens on, then we're going to start blending them together anyway. That was my yellow, and the next one I'm going to go to now is this green here. Just going to grab our green and start popping our green on. About where I want the yellow to stop, I'll start my green. And again, it is going to need a little bit more than just the first coat. Now this is a great look for festivals. You see I've got green down my face already. It's a great look for festivals, a great look if you're going to like a drum and bass night, anything like that, it'll be really good for that. Or if you just fancy standing out. Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit more on here. I'm left-handed, which I don't know if that's going to help you seeing or not seeing, so I apologise if at any point you can't see what I'm doing. I'll try and be more aware of that. Okay, so we've got our green. So I'm pretty happy with how that's looking so far. Yeah, I am starting to make a bit of a mess, but it's okay. Like I said, we haven't done our foundation. This is just literally our applying stage of our eyeshadow. And then the last one we're going to do for our eyeshadow is just this green here. And I'm just going to pop my green on the end. Now I've done this like a couple of times, couple of different ways in the past. I've done it where I've had it on top and underneath. I've had it where I've had it all up to my eyebrow. I've had it with the wings on. There's so many different ways you can do this makeup and so many different ways you can change it. So it looks different each time. And that's what I love about this sort of experimenting with makeup. You can really use the same kit, use the same colours, and it will look completely different each time you do it. So there we've got our dark green coming through on the end. I'm going to add a bit more, so a bit more of a obvious. There you go. So that is my green. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go grab a makeup wipe just to take off the excess, and I'll be back. That is the basis. It's not blended together, so that is my next step. Just to grab my brush and just blend it. Okay, I think we're looking fairly even. I think the great thing about this for me is that if it isn't even, I'm actually not too worried, because there's so much going on that it's almost sometimes nice not to have a symmetrical eye. Unless I'm doing my winged eyeliner, at that point it has to be symmetrical. But that's just me. Each to their own. Okay. So, from here, I'm actually going to do underneath my eye as well. Without getting it in your eye. Oh gosh. Now there's nothing to say when you're doing under your eye that you have to use the same colours or even in the same order, so I could have ended up with yellow at the end and green on the inside if I wanted to. There's so many amazing ways you can use eyeshadow, and when you're at a festival and you're in an environment where everyone is dressing up and being a bit more crazy and a bit more out there, anything goes. It's great, anything goes. Okay, so another thing I'm just going to do is I'm just going to actually pull the colour out a little bit. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. because go big or go home, right? But I'm not going to be so generous with the yellow. Just going to do a little bit. By not so generous, I mean I'm not going to go up to my eyebrows today. And then going to do the same with the green. Just bring that up a little bit. Now, a lot of where I got my ideas from are things that I've either had inspiration from people online, or I've just tried something and thought, you know what, that hasn't worked, but maybe if I do it this way it will. So I am a massive advocate for just sitting and trying makeup, and if you don't like it, take it off. It doesn't matter. Who's going to know, apart from you, that you've just taken off your makeup because you didn't like it or it didn't work? Okay. So I'd look a bit more like a panda right now, a psychedelic panda, so I'm just going to cover this and just make that look a bit more deliberate than that I've just rubbed my eyes. So there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this out, blend it a little bit. The last thing I want to do is look like I've sneezed in a pot. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with how that's looked. I'm just going to run this off a little bit without poking myself in the eye. There we go. We've got that coming out. Do the same here. There we go. Okay. So for me, that's my eyeshadow done. I like the way this looks. It won't be for everyone, I get that, but that's how I like it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some of this green and just put a little bit of sparkle on the green, just to give it something else. Because I'm at a festival, why wouldn't I? Now, I do think for this particular look there can be too much glitter for me, for my taste, because I have found that if you put too much glitter in, it suddenly just swamps everything else. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on my foundation and my powder to really start to make the look the way it should. And next I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my foundation. Now I use the Kat Von D Good Apple in shade Light. So if you can see that. Nope. So Kat Von D had a brand called Lock It In, and that was the foundation I was using for so long, and I loved it. And then when I went to buy it next, Good Apple was there instead. Now there is a table, which I'll pop here if I can find it, of if you use a lock-in foundation, what your colour would be in the Good Apple. For me it was perfect. For me it is actually the perfect shade, so it worked for myself, but obviously do have a look and see. Now I know that I'm running out of that one. So this foundation is probably the most expensive part of my makeup look. This costs about between £28 and £35, and it is for 30 millilitres, sorry. But I do tend to get them on offer, so I do wait until they're on offer, and then I will get a couple because they do last. If you're sparing with them, they will last. Perfect. So I'm just going to add on my foundation. The only thing is, if obviously you've pulled your eyeshadow out, just to be careful that you don't then put your foundation over your carefully crafted eyes. I feel a bit like Morticia in this dress. Perfect. So that is my foundation. I don't go for a particularly tanned foundation. I'm actually fairly pale, even though my dark hair suggests that I'm not. I am fairly pale, so I do have quite a light foundation, light to match my skin. So this is the W7 Set It Up powder is a finishing powder, and I am running out of it, but let's just give it a shake and see if we can get some out. I can just see it falling out the side. Okay, have a look. Oh, I've got some. Or if in doubt, take the lid off, and we've got some. Oh goodness, that doesn't look YouTube friendly. What's just falling down there? Okay. Okay, so for me, that's my foundation, that's my eyes. But as you can see, I haven't really got any eyebrows. So I'm going to do my eyebrows next, and I've got the XX Fine Brow Pen. Wow, more like a crayon, these ones. So you can see that. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to pop some eyebrows on. I think filming makeup videos, or this first one that I'm doing, I think is quite nerve-wracking for me, because I'm not one of these people that really is all out there. This is very much a persona for me, having my makeup like this. My makeup is very much my it's my war paint, it's my comfort. I don't really, even if I'm having like a no makeup day, I still have my foundation, brows and mascara on, and that's my everyday look. That's my very sort of, I'm going to the gym, I'm working, I'm not going anywhere look. So doing this and putting it online for potentially a lot of people to see is quite nerve-wracking. I think you never know how someone's going to react, or how someone's going to perceive what you're doing, or how they're going to comment on what you're doing. So, you know, it can be a little bit nerve-wracking putting yourself out there. So I just ask that everyone be kind, not necessarily to me, but to each other in the comments. Everyone is, you know, make time to listen to each other and understand each other's views. That's all we really want. Okay. I was hoping these would be sisters, but I don't even know if they're distantly related cousins right now. So we'll try and just... You know what? They're related enough. It'll be fine. Okay. And again, these are quite dark for me. So I'm just going up a little bit of my setting powder and just lighten them up just a tad. There we go. Okay. So we're getting somewhere now. We're making a look. We're happy. Gosh, that doesn't look very good, does it? Let's get rid of that. Today I am going to do it with eyeliner. Hopefully this goes right, because I haven't done eyeliner in quite a long time. So I like to use the L'Oreal Perfect Slim, almost like a felt tip type thing. I've been using the felt tips for quite a while. I don't get on with liquid eyeliner. I'm fairly clumsy, and I end up putting it in my eye as opposed to on my eye. I don't feel like I have a lot of control over it. I have so much respect and admiration for girls who can do it with the liquid. This is as close to liquid as I can get. The reason I love this is that it does actually stay on. It says 24-hour eyeliner, waterproof, and it is. I cannot share my love for this enough. This cost me about £8, so it does seem more expensive, but it is actually a really, really good product. Okay. The only thing I can see I've now drawn in my eye, which is actually a little bit sore, but never mind. Now I'm not going to do the flick today. Usually I would do a flick, but I feel like I've got enough going on already without adding in any additional flicks. Okay. And the last thing I just need to add is my mascara. Now this is just a W7 More Lashes mascara. Now W7, oh, fuck's sake. So unfortunately, my camera just died partway through. I don't know where the rest of the batteries are right now, so I'm just switched over to my phone. Last thing is just my mascara. Now this is some more lashes. Quite like this mascara because it's got a bit of a curve. Add that. Another thing I don't do is false eyelashes. I love the look. I love when someone else does it for me, but I'm just so bad. I can't do it myself. Okay. So I'm just going to add my mascara. Now I like a bit on the bottom as well. And there we go. Again, normally at this point I would do my setting spray. I'd have my hair ready. There we go. And that is my festival look. That is my I'm going out, going to see some drum and bass look that I have. Like I said, it's not going to be for everyone, and that is fine. You might want to do it slightly differently. That is fine, but this is how I like to do mine. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching my video on my makeup that I like. Let me know what you think, what you do differently, what you think I should do, what I should add to my look. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you again in the next video. Have a good one.